mess.
There are again tremendous developments for the next film in the Transformers cinematic universe. However, while some people will be happy about this, others will not. As you know, in the live-action Transformers films, humans have always been in the foreground. In fact, it can even be said that we have watched productions that focus more on the problems humans face rather than the story of the Transformers themselves. A different story was not handled in Rise of the Beasts either. Still, rumors have emerged about the return of an old friend in the new upcoming film, and in this video, we will discuss every detail. While I tell you the details, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video so you won't miss any upcoming content.
Did you forget who I am?
Since Hasbro will not be sponsoring the new Transformers film, the G.I. Joe crossover event has been put on hold for now. For this reason, Paramount will continue working with Michael Bay, who is already involved in production. Even though Michael Bay did not direct Bumblebee and Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, he remained involved as a producer. Therefore, it is not surprising that Michael Bay will once again take the director's seat and continue where he left off in the old universe. It has been said that Sam Witwicky will return in the new Transformers film. However, this is a bit difficult because the actor has repeatedly faced legal issues. But of course, it is not impossible. Even though it was stated in Transformers 5 that Sam had died, they would still need his permission and even pay a certain fee to show his face. This means that although Sam was not actively shown after the third film, an agreement was still made with the actor for the fifth film. Because if the sixth film had come after the fifth, Sam would have returned. Even though Sam is currently dead in the story, they plan to include him in past-related scenes. In fact, in Transformers: Rise of the Unicron, during the time travel events, we were supposed to see Sam again. They would even try to prevent Sam's death. A new story has been planned in the classic Transformers fashion, where humans take the lead. According to this story, they would show us Sam's previously unexplained death through time travel. For example, they would explain how Optimus was portrayed while roaming the Earth in his truck form. However, for this story to be handled, the Bayverse needed to continue. It does not seem possible for a new Transformers film to arrive before 2027. In this case, we can say that a new film will come exactly 10 years after the fifth one. Since Hasbro will no longer finance Transformers films, they are not planning a continuation of Rise of the Beasts. Additionally, since the animated film Transformers 1 flopped at the box office, the only person who has previously been successful and can bring Paramount solid profits is Michael Bay. Transformers films have actually always been planned as trilogies. The first three films had their own interconnected story, while the fourth and fifth films told a completely different narrative. Even though the sixth film was planned years ago, it was shelved because the fifth film failed. However, since the productions that followed the fifth film performed even worse, they will continue the story through the sixth film. The first three films focus on the war between the Autobots and Decepticons, while the fourth, fifth, and sixth films were going to present a story centered on the creator beings who had influence over the Autobots and Decepticons. In the fourth film, Optimus Prime realized that his creators posed a great danger to Earth and the universe. In the fifth film, he fought Quintessa, who played a major role in the creation of the Transformers and learned of Unicron's existence. When the sixth film arrived, he would battle Unicron and discover that Primus was actually Cybertron. Additionally, they needed to explain the undisclosed details from the fourth film through time travel. These kinds of cinematic universes are always planned as trilogies: introduction, development, and conclusion. Even the reason for Optimus Prime's design change was exactly this. In the first three films, Optimus Prime used the same design, while in the fourth, fifth, and sixth films, he had to maintain his updated design. The sixth film was going to be the finale for the Transformers series, and after that, spin-off films would be released. Since the Transformers films primarily told Optimus Prime's story, his story was going to conclude with the sixth film. The Bumblebee film was supposed to come after Transformers 6 and tell an origin story. Bumblebee should have arrived on Earth hundreds of years ago because even Megatron crash-landed on Earth in 10,000 BC, and right after Bumblebee's voice box was damaged, he immediately began pursuing Megatron. Of course, he lost time during space travel, but since the Bumblebee film was a reboot, they didn't wait for Transformers 6. As a result, the story became completely fragmented. As you all know, films of this nature are produced with extremely large budgets. In particular, Transformers 4 was a packed production with insane scenes. Nowadays, financing a film with such elaborate and completely redesigned characters is not easy. Without Hasbro's support, it is incredibly difficult to create films as impressive as before. By impressive films, I'm not referring to the script but rather to visual quality and details. Today, even the richest film studios cut down on scenes and visual effects to keep budgets from increasing. Producing a Transformers movie, which heavily relies on transformation sequences and fully CGI robots, will certainly not be cheap. The revenue from Michael Bay's films wasn't solely dependent on box office earnings. The advertisements and the cars showcased in the films alone allowed them to recover their budget and generate profit. Many people ask, why don't Transformers films take place entirely in space? Or, why do they focus so much on humans? The main reason is exactly this. If they made films solely set in space or focused on the past instead of the present, their chances of making such massive profits would be nearly zero. Thanks to sponsorships from major companies, many films can cover their budgets even before they are released. One of the biggest reasons why the Transformers films released after Bumblebee failed financially was precisely this, because they focused on the past and had no relevance to the present. Additionally, since their box office revenue was lower than the Bayverse films, they started losing money. If a film that continues the fifth movie's story is made, they will secure sponsors again, and even if the box office revenue is low, they won't suffer as much financial loss as the reboot universe. If you ask how I can be so sure that they will continue the old films, let me ask you this. Aren't all the movies we've watched blockbuster films? The studios make these movies to earn money, and it is nearly impossible to find sponsors or collaborations for a film that doesn't take place in the present day. Moreover, Hasbro, the company that once funded nearly half of the films, has announced that they will no longer provide a budget. Without continuing the Bayverse, there will be no new Transformers movie. Even if they do make one, they will keep losing money, and in that case, they will completely terminate the Transformers film series. That's why I believe the news about this is true, and that Paramount will soon make an official announcement. Alright friends, I hope you liked the content I prepared. If there are any other videos you'd like to see, don't forget to write them in the comments. That's all from me for now. Take care and goodbye.
I've come for that staff.